WFG Canada Insurance Guide. Introduction. World Financial Group Insurance Agency of Canada Inc. WFG has a long history of ethical market conduct in the marketing, sale, and service of insurance products. However, with the intensity of change that has occurred in the marketplace, the introduction of innovative but complex products, increased emphasis on disclosure, and the increase in regulatory requirements, managing general agencies, MGAs, such as WFG have adopted a more formalized approach to compliance and supervision. The objective in doing so is to create an increased awareness of the need for a high ethical standard by agents in their dealings with clients and prospective clients. The company WFG is an insurance agency licensed for the sales and distribution of life insurance and related products across Canada. 1.2 Compliance structure. WFG activities are regulated by provincial insurance commissions and councils where applicable, and by contractual arrangements with life insurance companies. As a managing general agency, MGA, life products including segregated funds are distributed by licensed agents contracted with WFG. WFG oversees its agents to ensure that they comply with insurance laws, regulations, and contractual agreements. The WFG Insurance Guide, the guide, describes policies and procedures designed to help agents comply with their responsibilities as a life licensed agent and where applicable insurance supervisor. The guide is intended to be a reference tool to assist agents in servicing their clients' policies in a professional manner, but cannot address all rules, statutes, regulations, and policies that are applicable to all activities. As agents that have passed the appropriate examinations, agents are expected to have an understanding of the rules and regulations that pertain to their activities and are responsible for complying with the requirements of the rules and requirements of respective jurisdictions. Do not hesitate to contact WFG or your insurance supervisor with any questions you have concerning this guide or any statute, regulation, or rule regarding life insurance. Sales activities. 1.3 Role of WFG. As an MGA, WFG is responsible for the following duties and provides the following services. Licensing and monitoring. Independent agent licensing is a provincial jurisdiction. WFG verifies that agents renew their license as required and also verify that agents carry sufficient E&O, errors and omissions insurance, as required by provincial regulation and WFG. Contracting. WFG provides agents access to contracts with those insurers with whom WFG is contracted. The MGA facilitates the submission of completed contracting requirements between the agent and the insurer. As per contracts with insurers, WFG conducts agent background checks and screening in the agent selection process. WFG may also rely upon checks conducted by Ivory, which also sponsors WFG agent licenses where required. Ongoing training. WFG is active in assisting the agent with obtaining CE credits, training, and notices/bulletins regarding changes to insurance rules and best practices. Agents should ensure that they stay informed of the rules that apply to their local jurisdictions. Agents should regularly visit council websites to check for any updates in regards to changes and requirements. WFG also acts as a conduit to provide insurers access to WFG agents. CE credit management is the responsibility of the agent and is subject to audit by either/the insurers, the regulators, and/or WFG. WFG continues to enhance the offering of continuing education and CE credits offering through Oliver's Business Conduit. WFG works as a conduit between agents and insurers so that full information on applicants is provided to insurers. This information is provided for Underwriting decisions to be made as well as participation in the new business policy. Issue and placement process. Compensation. WFG acts as a conduit between the insurer and agent for timely and accurate new and renewal commission management. Agent compensation and the flow of commissions are processed through WFG. Insurance commissions, including segregated funds, are paid by the insurer directly to WFG. Agent compensation is determined by WFG. Chargeback commission is the responsibility of the agent, and if not dealt with within a predetermined time frame, WFG initiates the commission recovery process with the agent. Agent disclosure form to clients. This is an industry standard that is applied uniformly across the country, designed to ensure agents meet regulatory objectives and provide consistent and complete disclosure to consumers. Agents are required to use a disclosure statement that is appropriate to the WFG business model and their own unique circumstances, and is part of the product application process. For details, refer to Section 2.0, Ethical Conduct. Insurer relations. WFG acts as a conduit between the agent and insurer, coordinating new business submission and settlement, in-force business servicing requirements, new product introduction and training, existing product training meetings and regulatory updates. Market conduct issues and complaint management. The insurer controls the complaint process. WFG assists in the complaint management process. The contract policy is between the client and the insurer. Client complaints often begin with the insurer and then are relayed through WFG to the agent. The insurer or WFG facilitates the process of responding to the client. 1.4 Life insurance licensing. To sell life insurance products through WFG, every agent must have a license in the province for which they wish to do business. The specific requirements for each province may vary. Please refer to my WFG for specifics on each province. However, the general process for agents seeking their first life license for most provinces is the same. To sell a life product from a specific provider company through WFG, an associate must go through a 3-step process. Candidates must learn the licensing process, complete the applicable forms and pass the LLQP exam in the province. The agent must obtain sponsorship through Ivory and obtain the provincial license. The agent must be contracted, appointed, with WFG and/or certain insurance provider companies. 1.5 Obtaining sponsorship and license. Every WFG associate seeking to sell a life product for WFG in a province must obtain sponsorship, where required, and the provincial license through Ivory. The following is the process to obtain this sponsorship and license. The agent must complete and submit to Ivory an application for contract sponsorship. This is also known as the CLIA application for license, contract. The application for contract sponsorship must be completed through mywfg.com. Agents must click the tab, and proceed to licensing and appointments. And then licensing, and then clicking requirements and how to. From there, agents can complete the application process by clicking the e-contracting online application package link. The agent must complete and submit an ENO application to WFG, CENO. Procedures, as part of the e-contracting online application package. The agent must submit to Ivory's Life Licensing Department a copy of their LLQP exam marks. Ontario requires the original exam marks, the appropriate provincial license application form and appropriate fees for the province. Ivory will obtain an Equifax credit report. Ivory will complete an inspection report. Once you have completed the online application forms through Ivory's online platform, the applicable forms will be submitted to Ivory. Ivory will process through the forms and submit them to the appropriate provincial insurance commission or council. Most provinces forward the issued licenses directly to the agent, and therefore, the agent is responsible for forwarding to WFG Life Licensing Department a copy of their issued license. However, Ontario, FSCO, will send the issued licenses to WFG Life Licensing Department for distribution to the agent. Ivory will send the approved contract for sponsorship back to WFG, who then forwards it to the agent. Note, most councils now have electronic application systems in which the above is conducted electronically, and agents may, or may not, receive paper copies of their licenses. 1.6 Specific Licensing Guidelines / Outside Activities. An outside activity is any occupation, function, or activity that involves dealing with the public, whether it is remunerated or not remunerated, and whether it is pursued on a full-time or part-time basis, for a specified or unspecified period of time. Agents are permitted to work part-time in a field other than financial services, with the exception of specific occupations such as judge, police officer, lawyer, treasurer, accountant, real estate broker, management of a union, etc. Individual provincial regulators, Quebec, British Columbia, have specific rules and lists of restricted occupations that may lead to a potential conflict of interest for insurance agents. Instances of a potential conflict of interest are when a licensed agent has a personal, private, financial, or professional interest that could prevent the agent from being able to objectively exercise their responsibilities to a client, principal, or insurance company, engages in other employment or business activity, paid or unpaid, that may include real or perceived positions of power or trust, is in a position that could take advantage of a consumer's inexperience, age, lack of education, language barrier, or ill health. Agents who pursue one or more outside activities must report them in writing to WFG. WFG expects agents to be diligent and proactive in reporting their outside activities and notifying WFG of any changes in a timely manner. Agents must report / declare their outside activities when they switch firms, even if they had previously reported them to another firm or declared them to any insurance company or regulator. 1.7 E&O / Professional Liability Insurance. Professional liability insurance covers you for errors and omissions made while doing your job and giving advice to your client. It is often called errors and omissions insurance. E&O. As an agent, you are susceptible to liability claims brought on by the consumers. Heightened expectations regarding the services they receive and their willingness in taking grievances and dissatisfaction through legal channels. Even though an agent may have done nothing wrong, the agent may still be susceptible to a lawsuit or client complaint. All legal actions are costly and time-consuming. Protect yourself. Protect your business. 1.8 WFG Errors and Omissions Insurance Coverage. All licensed WFG associates are required to activate their errors and omissions insurance through World Financial Group Insurance Agency of Canada Inc. Every life licensed agent or prospective agent will need to complete the e-contracting online application package, which can be found through MyWFG, as detailed in Section 1.5. For detailed instructions and payment procedures and information about services insured, refer to the applicable section in MyWFG. There is no initial payment required at time of application. The WFG E&O administrator will order the E&O certificate and set the associate up in the WFG system to have payments deducted from their commissions on a monthly basis. If an associate has a negative account balance, the system will generate a collections letter every 30 days. Advising the associate of any outstanding errors and omission debit. Potential sources. 4. E&O claims. Misrepresentation of coverage. Improper instruction in completing application. Improper instruction in presenting a claim. Failure to secure coverage. Failure to secure proper coverage. Error in cancellation. Mishandling of funds. Failure to act in a timely manner. Privacy incident of confidentiality. How to prevent a claim. Avoid inaccurate statements. Avoid misleading statements. Avoid exaggerated statements. Avoid statements of which you do not have direct knowledge. Avoid representations that you have not verified. Review documents for accuracy. Review documents for completeness. Create files. Maintain paper files. Purge files. Document. 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 With clients, insurers, MGAs, and others. 1.10 The Provincial Insurance Regulators. Provincial regulation. Each Canadian province and territory has established a system to regulate the business of insurance within its geographical borders. Provincial regulation of insurance includes market conduct laws that make sure insurance companies conduct their businesses fairly and ethically and regulate virtually all non-financial operations of insurers. This includes distribution and licensing, conflicts of interest and suitability, replacements, rebating, other prohibited sales practices and claims. Agents who sell life insurance and annuities must be licensed as insurance producers by each jurisdiction, province or territory, in which they do business. Although laws vary from province to province, some uniformity exists because many provincial laws are based on guidelines put forth by the Canadian Council of Insurance Regulators. The CCIR is an interjurisdictional association of regulators of insurance. CCIR works cooperatively with other financial services regulators to enhance consumer protection and to develop and harmonize insurance policy and regulation across jurisdictions. Principle-based directives from CCIR are adopted by provincial and territorial insurance regulators along with supplemental insurance councils in certain provinces, British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. The CCIR's principle-based directives focus on suitability and conflict of interest, market conduct issues, distribution, and licensing. Internal use only, WFG Canada Insurance Guide 16. Including the administration of the LLQP, Life License Qualification Program, and Complaint Resolution. 1.11 Unlicensed selling and additional insurance links. WFG agents cannot sell life insurance in a province they are not licensed to sell in. Out-of-province clients. WFG agents cannot complete any sale where a client resides in a province that the agent is not licensed in. The date your license is active, is the date you can sell. All WFG representatives must understand that they are not WFG licensed agents in any given province until the date their license is posted as active by that provincial regulator. You can view the date your license becomes active online at the provincial regulator's website. Remember, you are not licensed the day you pass your LLQP exam. You are not licensed when you send in your license application to WFG. You are licensed as of the date the provincial regulator issues your license on their website. Not before. Links to insurance websites are provided as references only, and as a convenience. WFG does not endorse any services or products that may be on those websites and is not responsible for the content of any linked website. 1.12 Purpose and use of this guide. This guide provides an appropriate vehicle for us to bring together our corporate standards and those of the industry for ethical market conduct and to share these with our agents. The manual is designed to bring this material together in a single source of reference. These standards combine regulatory requirements found in provincial life insurance acts, industry standards developed by advocacies, CLIA, and supported by its member companies, and their agents including MGAs like WFG, and standards developed by WFG itself, and supported by its senior management. Compliance with these policies and guidelines by WFG agents is overseen and supervised by the WFG Compliance Department. It is important that individual agents currently under contract are made aware of the content of this compliance guide and that new agents are provided copies of the materials when hired. Questions in regard to the content of this manual should be addressed to Compliance Department, World Financial Group Insurance Agency of Canada Inc. 5000 Yonge Street Suite 800. Toronto, Ontario M2N7 times 10 to the power of 9th. TRO. Ethical market conduct by its nature involves behavior in accordance with a set of principles designed to exhibit a high standard of professionalism in how we as an insurance agency and you as agents deal with clients and prospective clients. The principles that follow reflect this philosophy. To conduct business according to high standards of honesty and fairness and to render a level of service to our customers which, in the same circumstances, we would apply to or demand for ourselves. To provide competent and customer-focused sales and service. To engage in active and fair competition. To provide full and accurate disclosure at the point of sale and beyond. To only use advertising and sales materials that are clear as to purpose and honest and fair as to content. To maintain a system of supervision and review that is reasonably designed to achieve compliance with these principles of ethical market conduct. To provide for fair and expeditious management and adjudication of customer complaints and disputes. PRINCIPLESOFETHICAL. WFG is committed to the highest standards of ethics in the conduct of its business and to complying with all laws and regulations. WFG will always deal with integrity in regard to our clients. 1.13 Disciplinary actions. Agents that willfully disregard policies, do not take reasonable corrective measures as directed by the Compliance Department, or demonstrate a pattern of unsuitable behavior, will face disciplinary measures that may include such actions as being placed on heightened supervision, formal warning/reprimand, fines, suspensions and/or termination. Failure to comply with the requirements set out by WFG and the applicable regulatory provincial bodies may lead to termination from WFG, lawsuits, fines, suspension, and/or other disciplinary actions. This may include compliance notices, warning letters, limitations on trading activities, censures, fines, supervisory requirements, forfeitures of commissions, requirements to retake examinations, civil action, and/or legal action. Honesty and integrity are fundamental requirements for an agent. Any known misrepresentations, fraud, committed errors, or omissions on application documents may result in disciplinary action that may include termination. Any suspected fraud, related to commissionable activities or head office employees should be reported directly to Assistant General Counsel, Compliance. Consequences of cheating on any course examinations. WFG defines cheating as the failure to act with honesty and integrity by a candidate, associate or agent, when studying for, or completing, an examination of any kind. Such Actions will lead to disciplinary action including termination from WFG. Actions which are considered cheating on an exam or test include, but are not limited to, copying from another candidate's work, using materials not authorized for the exam, i.e., phones, tablets, written notes, collaborating with another candidate during an exam, collusion, which means obtaining from or giving to another candidate, unauthorized assistance in any subject, i.e., sharing computer screens or linking other devices to your terminal for the purposes of allowing others to assist with the completion of the exam. Falsification, which means modifying, without authorization, an examination paper, record, or report for the purpose of obtaining additional credit. Knowingly using, buying, selling, stealing, or soliciting any of the contents of a test/exam, i.e., taking photos of exam questions, colluding with others to memorize exam questions for the purposes of sharing the questions with others, taking a test/exam for another candidate or permitting another candidate to take a test for oneself, attempting to bribe an instructor or other employee to obtain a passing grade or better grade on a test/exam, or to alter records for such grades, using technology in which another person remotely logs onto a person's computer and answers questions. Any exam, test, or certification information, including CE credits, must not be copied, shared or removed from the testing center/environment, or dispersed to, or shared with any other individuals. The consequences of cheating on any exam, certification, compliance course or CE credits will lead to disciplinary measures up to and including termination from WFG. Every candidate, associate, or agent must report any information they become aware of that could be considered cheating or an attempt to cheat. Instances of cheating or unethical behavior can be reported to Upline, S, Head Office Compliance, the Regional Branch Manager, RBM, team or the proctors and/or organizers of the exam. Failure to report instances of cheating or unethical behavior may also lead to disciplinary measures. 1.14 Supervision, Provincial Requirements. The below tables list the various obligations that must be met by the specific provinces that require agent supervision. British Columbia. 5 of the last 7 years licensed in any province must hold a BC license. Tenure as a licensed agent. Can delegate function, but not responsibility. Supervision duration, 2 years. Supervision period can be extended. Must notify council within 5 days if withdrawing. Supervisor cannot supervise more than 25 new agents. Specific provincial requirements. At time of licensing, supervisor undertaking. With each application, supervision process review. Statement. At time of removal of supervision, supervision period. Confirmation of completion. Specific forms required. Up to January 1, 2020, form stack submission. After January 1, 2020, all forms as required or recommended by BC Council. Supervision to be conducted by qualified field supervisors. Manitoba. 3 continuous years prior to becoming a supervisor, in any province, must be licensed in Manitoba. Tenure as a licensed agent. Must countersign FNA for every business of the supervised agent. Must confirm risk level for SEG funds for clients. Must approve any SEG fund leveraging recommendation. Must countersign LIRDs. MB specific supervisor statement. Supervision duration, 1 year. Specific provincial requirements. At time of licensing, supervisory certificate. With each business submitted, supervision statement. Specific forms required. Supervision to be conducted by qualified field supervisors. Quebec. 24 of past 36 months plus additional requirements for a clean record. Tenure as a licensed agent. Probationary certificate during the probationary period. 45-day extension allowed. 12-week period, insurance of persons, 6-week period. ANS. Responsible for all the professional activities of the trainee. Supervisor cannot supervise more than 5 new agents. Specific provincial requirements. Specific forms as required by the Auto Right de Marches. Financiers. Specific forms required. Monthly reports to WFG Home Office. Supervision to be conducted by qualified field supervisors. Saskatchewan. 3 years experience as a licensed agent, in any province. Must be licensed in Saskatchewan. Tenure as a licensed agent. Supervision duration, 1 year. Amount of business, 50 in-force insurance products at time of request to remove supervision. Specific provincial requirements. At time of licensing, N/A. With each business submitted, supervision certificate. Specific forms required. Supervision to be conducted by qualified field supervisors. 2.0 Ethical conduct. This Code of Ethical Market Conduct sets out the standards to which we expect our agents to adhere in their dealings with clients and in their representation of WFG and its approved products. It is intended to supplement existing codes of ethics or conduct developed and published by advocacies and the codes of ethics issued by provincial regulatory bodies. Parts of these codes may be the subject of provisions or regulations of the insurance acts of the provinces and as such are enforceable as law. The Advocacies/CLU Institute Code of Professional Conduct, CPC, sets out a list of principles that an advocacies member is expected to abide by in his or her business activities and in his or her liaison between clients and suppliers of insurance and/or financial products or services. In addition, many of the areas covered by this and other codes of ethics are subject to the CLIA guidelines on reporting unsuitable activities by agents. Under these guidelines, all life insurance companies are required, following an investigation by the company, to report to the provincial regulator any activity by agents that it reasonably believes to be unsuitable. Serious misconduct could be as a result of a single incident or occur more than once and therefore be considered part of the agent's regular method of conducting business. As an MGA contracted with a number of insurance providers, WFG will cooperate and participate with insurers as invested partners to ensure the activities of contracted agents remain suitable and compliant. This code is intended to supplement the applicable WFG contract under which an individual or corporation operates. It applies to conduct and activities with respect to all products and services approved by WFG. 2.1 Responsibilities. The interest of clients and prospective clients must be placed before the interests of the agent at all times during the sales and service process. Recommendations must be for the appropriate amount of coverage and product that best meets the client's circumstances. The agent is to provide service, advice, or information only where he/she is licensed and where their knowledge makes them competent to do so. Agents should not offer legal or other professional advice outside the scope of their knowledge or professional standing. The following summarizes some of life insurance agents' duties in a transaction. Before conducting a transaction, undertake sufficient fact-finding and needs Analysis to properly assess a client's circumstances, goals, and objectives. Disclose any information relevant to the client's insurance needs that a reasonable and prudent licensee would disclose in the same circumstances. Fully inform clients about all aspects of the insurance products they purchase, including any changes that occur during the term of the policy. Do not use sales materials or illustrations that are misleading or unnecessarily confusing. Maintain proper records of clients' insurance matters and provide for the safekeeping and confidentiality of those records. Deliver insurance policies or evidence of insurance coverage within a reasonable time as required. Fully and accurately disclose any information material to the insurer's decision to issue a contract of insurance, and fully and accurately complete and/or provide required documentation including the application, illustrations, summary information folders and/or basic disclosure declarations LIRD for replacement of existing insurance policies, if applicable. Send required documentation to insurer. Note: in some jurisdictions, there is a requirement that a copy of the LIRD is sent to the new insurer as well as the insurer for which the policy is being replaced. Agents should be mindful of all requirements in their jurisdiction. 2.2 Clients' needs. It is expected that agents will base their recommendations solely on the established needs of the client or prospective client, after gathering facts on which to base such recommendations, and taking into account the client's financial position and tolerance for risk. Refer to Section 8 on Financial Needs Analysis. 2.3 Obligations. Legal obligations. Sound business conduct requires compliance with the laws and regulations that apply directly to the life insurance industry. Agents must be aware of these laws and regulations and be familiar with their legal obligations. Ethical obligations. The life insurance industry is a business of trust. Agents are expected to earn that trust through a set of high ethical values in dealing with their clients and WFG. 2.4 Making representations. Agents are required to make representations to clients and prospective clients that contain clear, relevant, honest, complete, and factual information. Recommend only WFG-approved products and services on their merits and will refrain from discrediting or defaming competitors' products and services. When presenting the terms and conditions of these approved products, you must do so accurately, fully explaining both the guaranteed and non-guaranteed values and features. 2.5 Holding out. Agents must not hold themselves out to the public in a manner that is misleading about companies they represent or qualifications or designations they possess. Use of WFG letterhead, business cards, advertising, etc. must comply with provincial regulations and WFG's corporate standards for business cards and letterhead. Agents should use only WFG's approved marketing materials. Personally produced materials including direct mail letters, sales aids, websites, social network tools, newspaper and radio ads, seminar presentations, or presentations using PowerPoint or similar software, that include the WFG name or corporate logo or that present WFG's products, must comply with the above standards and be approved by WFG's compliance/marketing departments before use. Refer to details in section Business Cards and Letterhead. 2.6 Sales illustrations. Agents must use only illustration software provided for approved products to illustrate these products to clients and prospective clients. WFG instructions on complying with the illustrations are provided in this guide, and agents are expected to be aware of their responsibilities under these guidelines. Agents should comply with insurance company requirements for submitting copies of illustrations with life applications submitted to the insurance company. The illustration must match the sale that was made, details of which are contained in the submitted application. Refer to details in Section 6 Sales Process and Sales Illustrations. 2.7 Signing documents. An agent must not sign his/her client's name to a hard copy or electronic document, even if authorized to do so by the client. It is imperative that all hard copy or electronic documents only be signed by the owner of the policy, and where necessary the beneficiary, and that these be authentic. Any attempt by anyone to sign a hard copy or electronic document on behalf of the policy owner or beneficiary, even where permission to do so has been received, constitutes a forgery and a criminal act. Similarly, an agent must not sign as witness to a signature he/she has not actually witnessed, nor to a signature known to be forged. Nor must an agent obtain a client's or prospective client's signature on a blank form. 2.8 Cash handling and premium payments. In accordance with the agent's contract with WFG, agents must not remit, on behalf of clients, payment for premiums or other transactions using a personal check or a check issued by the agent's company. Any such payment will not be accepted. Agents must not accept checks or money orders from clients made payable to cash or to the agent. All checks must be made payable to the life insurance company involved and should clearly identify the payee to satisfy anti-money laundering requirements. 4. Segregated fund purchases. Clients may make the check payable to World Financial Group Insurance Agency of Canada Inc. in trust. 2.9 Replacements. All provinces in Canada have regulations under their respective Insurance Act dealing with replacements. Agents are expected to be familiar with these regulations and to carry out their requirements, particularly in regard to disclosure and disclosure statements and notification to other companies. These apply to both internal and external replacements. Replacements are not by themselves evidence of unsuitable conduct, however they should only be undertaken when they are in the best interests of the client. Refer to Section 7, Replacements. 2.10 Twisting. Agents must not engage in twisting, which is the unethical act of persuading a policy holder to drop a policy solely for the purpose of selling another policy, without regard to possible disadvantages to the policy holder. It can also involve using policy values, either through loans or the redirection of dividends, of one policy to purchase another. 2.11 Rebating. Under no circumstances must agents rebate premiums to clients, or engage in any activity that could be interpreted as rebating. Rebating is the making of an agreement as to the premium to be paid for a policy that is lower than that set forth in the policy. It also includes paying or rebating the whole or part of the premium or any consideration or thing of value intended to be in the form of a premium rebate, permitted in Alberta and to a limited degree in British Columbia. Rebates are inducements to purchase insurance. Inducements can be monetary or in-kind considerations such as gifts, purchases of services, etc. It is illegal. You should be extremely careful in this area, and if you use any form of gift as a part of your sales process, you should check with WFG to ensure this is appropriate or could be construed as rebating. 2.12 Money laundering. Agents must also not engage in any activity that directly or indirectly involves money laundering. Money laundering is the process of transferring property or proceeds of any property with intent to conceal the true origin and ownership of such property, knowing that all or part of it was obtained or derived directly or indirectly as a result of a criminal or drug offense. Refer to details in section, Anti-Money Laundering. 2.13 Compensation or payments to third parties. Agents shall not pay or share compensation from the sale of insurance with any third party or parties that do not hold an applicable insurance license or equivalent certificate. This includes gifts of value or monetary payments. Gifts or payments from a referral may expose the agent to a charge under the Insurance Act for sharing compensation with a person who does not hold an insurance license. If the person receiving the gift or payment was found to have been in a position to influence the purchase, a charge of rebating may also apply. 2.14 Appropriately licensed third party. Within the insurance industry, it is a common practice for agents to work together in the marketing of insurance products to a client. More than one appropriately licensed insurance agent may share commissions earned as a result of a joint venture, therefore, the sharing of commissions between appropriately licensed agents is allowable. 4. WFG agents. This is only permitted when commission split occurs with another WFG agent. Splits with non-WFG agents are not permitted. 2.15 Referral fees and unlicensed third party. The rules on finder or referral fees, referral fee, differ depending on whether or not the person receiving the compensation is an appropriately licensed insurance agent and what insurance activities the third party has conducted. Referral fees may be paid to an unlicensed person. When making a referral, an unlicensed person can direct a client to a licensed agent or, at the direction of the client, provide the client's name to a licensed agent. Before paying a referral fee, certain conditions must be met. Agents must be satisfied that the person to whom they are paying the referral fee did not engage in any insurance activities with the client. Insurance activities include discussing the merits of a particular insurance product or the client's insurance needs, and once satisfied the third party did not act as an insurance agent, a written disclosure must be provided to the client stating that the person is being compensated for the referral. The written disclosure is to be provided before arranging an insurance transaction. It is strongly suggested that agents maintain a copy of the written disclosure in their files as proof of meeting this license condition. 2.16 Know your client rule/product client suitability. Agents must make every effort to ensure they have made a diligent and businesslike effort to analyze their client's needs, risk tolerance, objectives and financial circumstances in order to determine the appropriateness of the product and/or other recommendations being made. 2.17 Tied selling/inducements. It is an offense to make the purchase of product A conditional upon the purchase of product B. Agents must refrain from any attempt to impose this or other conditions on any client. Agents must also not make any payment or provide any gift, or any offer to pay or give, directly or indirectly, any money or thing of value as an inducement to convince any prospective purchaser to buy insurance. 2.18 Privacy and confidentiality. Maintaining the confidentiality of customer information is a condition for all life licensed agents. Agents must hold in strict confidence all information acquired in the course of the professional relationship concerning the personal and business affairs of a client, and must not divulge or use any such information other than for the purpose of that transaction or of a similar subsequent transaction between the agent and the same client, unless expressly authorized by the client or as required by law to do so. Agents also have a duty to maintain complete privacy of all information concerning a client. An agent shall Use only lawful means to collect personal information. Inform the client what information must be disclosed in order to conduct business on the client's behalf. Obtain confidential information regarding a client's personal or business affairs only directly from, or with the permission of the client. Not disclose information concerning the client to any third party without the client's written authority to do so. Disclose information when it is required by order of lawful authority. Protect all personal information about a client with appropriate security. Safeguards. Refer to details in Section 13, WFG Privacy Policy. In addition, agents must not make photocopies of applications or medical reports required by insurers in the normal course of business, except photo ID. In order to satisfy money laundering regulations. In the event of a privacy incident, agents should contact WFG compliance immediately. 2.19 Conflicts of interest. The activities an agent is involved in, other than the practice of insurance, must not compromise or discredit the industry. An agent shall disclose to a client all conflicts of interest or potential conflicts of interest associated with a recommendation. Disclose if a conflict of interest exists. Provincial regulations. Although provincial regulations may differ with regards to prohibiting and declaring conflicts of interest, one constancy exists in all province, the expectation that the representative must act in the best interest of his/her clients and that these intentions be placed ahead of all others. The rules governing conflicts of interest of agents or sales representatives in life insurance is far from being generic, whereby the same rule applies to all. Where life agents recommend the wrong kind of insurance or an unsuitable product just because they will make more money or derive greater benefit for themselves, different scenarios would ensue across Canada depending on the domicile of the consumer. In cases where the agent is found to have fiduciary duty for advice giving, the conflict of interest situation described above would constitute a breach of that duty, giving rise to professional liability and cause for conflicting self-interest lawsuits. In reality, the entire issue of conflicts comes down to this point: does the agent's self-interest in the recommendation made affect his or her objectivity? 2.20 Books and records, client files. All agents are required to maintain proper records and accounting books, also referred to
as client files, relating to their insurance activities as a condition of licensing. Licensees are expected to meet any requirements outlined in their contracts with insurers. Agents should maintain their records in sufficient detail to ensure customer protection. WFGIA requires that records be kept by agents to show that certain license conditions and the agent's duty to the client have been met. What should be in the files? Copies of needs analysis, FNA/financial plan/KYC/investment profile. Copies of illustrations shown to clients, dated. Communications with client via email letters. Notes on discussions with clients, date stamped, and notes on what was discussed via the telephone or during a meeting. Copies of forms completed, i.e., replacement forms. Policy delivery receipt, where provided by insurer. Any client complaints. The method of remuneration for each product sold or service rendered to the client. Advisor disclosure documents. Reason why letter. Proof of regulatory supervision for each policy. Application agent copy. What should not be in the file? Original policy should be delivered to client. Pre-signed blank forms. Client's copy of transaction/correspondence. Medical information, shred. Copy of lab test results and physician notes, shred. Copy of health questions on application, shred. Mutual funds documentation should be kept in a separate file. How long books and records should be kept will vary depending on the nature and complexity of the transaction. Agents are cautioned that they may be subject to legislative requirements including the Insurance Act, tax legislation, and the Companies Act, Privacy, Money Laundering and Terrorist Financing Acts. 2.21 Agent Disclosure Requirement, prior to sale of product. Prior to the sale of an insurance product, agents must provide the client with a disclosure that outlines the following information: that the transaction is between the client and a named insurance company, the particulars of the relationship between the agent and the insurance company, the nature and extent of any business or financial interest, if any, the agent has in the insurance company and the insurance company has in the agent, the nature and extent of whatever interest, if any, the agent has in the transaction, including, but not limited to, whether he or she has the right to receive a commission or other remuneration in respect of the transaction. The amount of remuneration or commission does not have to be disclosed, and where a commission or remuneration is payable, the identity of the company or person paying it. Such disclosure is required on every initial transaction with a client and every subsequent transaction where there is a change in the information contained in the original disclosure. As an example, if a product is being placed with a new insurer, another disclosure is required. Refer to Sample Agent Disclosure in Appendix A. The disclosure document must be retained in the agent's file and be producible by the agent to the insurance company or a regulator upon request. 2.22 Other Market Conduct Issues, General. In addition to the specific subjects covered previously, there are a number of other market conduct pitfalls which the insurance professional should avoid. Market conduct. Problems can arise because of a lack of attention to details that seem separate from the sales process, e.g., policy delivery, complaint tracking and record keeping. However, failure to pay attention to these details can lead to problems. Rescission right. All insurers provide a 10-day free look period after the delivery of a life insurance policy, during which time the client can return the policy without cost. This period begins when the policy is delivered. Delivery is considered to take place when the policy owner is given actual possession of the policy. It is good business practice to have a signed policy delivery receipt for all new business cases and maintain a record of the date the policy was delivered as part of your client files. Note, some insurers require a signed policy delivery receipt. Not taken policy. A key part of being able to meet regulations is the prompt notification of a not taken policy. Failure to provide prompt notification leads to delays which may result in customer complaints, dissatisfaction with the agent and the company, as well as regulatory complaints, are potential outcomes when client premiums are not returned promptly. Legal advice. Canada has strict regulations regarding who can and cannot provide legal advice. Often, problems arise from an insurance professional's best efforts to aid the client. These may be misinterpreted as legal advice. It is never in your best interest to cross the line of providing legal advice, such as helping to draft or complete contracts, wills, or agreements.
It is best to provide a disclaimer whenever discussing issues that have potential legal implications, such as wills, trusts, etc. Complaints. Complaints are important to regulators, companies and insurance professionals. Insurance regulations in Canada require insurance companies to track, monitor and resolve complaints. WFG maintains a complaint tracking program. Please refer to the section 5 of this guide, which outlines WFG's Market Conduct Complaint Protocol and its policy. To resolve complaints fairly and expeditiously. Agents know that a satisfied client is good. For business, complaints are usually defined as written communications, but can also be verbal. Privacy. PIPEDA privacy regulations and similar legislation in certain provinces require you to notify and obtain consent from your clients for the collection, use, disclosure and retention of personal information. Note also that you may not maintain copies of WFGIA applications or medical information at any time. If you currently do not maintain complete records, you must start immediately. For more information, refer to Section 13. On privacy and PIPEDA. Compliance bulletins. In addition to information on policies and procedures, WFGIA sends out bulletins about changes in regulations. They also provide information on how to stay compliant. Make sure you set up and maintain these documents and files. They are critical in helping you protect your clients and your business. 2.23 Market Conduct, Golden Rules. 1. Properly identify yourself, your company and your role as an insurance agent. Never conceal or disguise that you sell life insurance. 2. Never call life insurance or annuities by any name, which disguises that they are insurance. Policies or contracts, such as calling them plans or programs. 3. Sell only products for which you hold proper licenses and for which you have the proper training and experience. 4. Never provide services, such as legal advice, or sell products, such as securities, for which you are not duly licensed and trained. 5. Use only company-approved sales materials. Never use personalized sales materials, including advertising, illustrations, videos or seminar presentations that use WFGIA's name, or describe WFGIA's products that have not been approved by WFGIA's head office. 6. Use words, terms and symbols which accurately describe the features and benefits of the products you sell. 7. Never exaggerate, inflate or make unsubstantiated claims about your products, services or company. 8. Disclose to clients accurately and in language they can understand all relevant information. about the products and services you recommend. 9. Never minimize, ignore or avoid discussing aspects of your products and services because they are complicated or potentially unfavorable. 10. Disclose federal tax-related issues regarding the products and services you recommend. Never discuss tax-related information. 12. Show clients only complete, company-approved illustrations. 13. Never develop, homegrown, illustrations or present tabular numerical data which has not been approved. 14. Fully explain the hypothetical nature of illustrations, the guaranteed and non-guaranteed elements, and the assumptions and limitations of the illustration. 15. Never use the terms vanish or vanishing premium when discussing the mechanics of using accumulated values to pay future premiums or insurance charges. 16. Provide a signed copy of the complete illustration to the client and send a signed copy to the company. 17. Never give clients partial illustrations or only a supplemental illustration. 18. Make yourself aware of the law in regard to rebating and follow it scrupulously. 19. Never give direct monetary or indirect, in-kind, rebates. 20. Accurately comply with client disclosure and needs analysis requirements related to policy replacement or fail to complete all replacement forms on a timely basis. Form the habit of using a checklist to ensure you disclose all relevant information. (22) Never fail to provide all relevant information during a transaction to influence a client's decisions. 23. Deliver the policy promptly and record the delivery date. 24. Maintain complete client files and a master compliance file which includes all company compliance-related policies and procedures. 25. Never treat compliance with provincial and federal regulations and company procedures as a nice to do. 26. Educate yourself about your responsibilities as an insurance professional and become knowledgeable about compliance and market conduct rules and regulations. 27. Never make disparaging remarks about another company or misrepresent your authority to make a sale. 3.0 Agent Licensing and Contracting. WFG complies with suitability guidelines that cover both screening for suitability and reporting unsuitability of new and existing insurance agents or agents. The protection of the integrity of the insurance business across Canada requires that life agents be screened for suitability, to make it harder for any rogue agents to perpetrate unethical and illegal
practices. The appointment of new agents is a joint effort between WFG and its sponsoring life insurance company, Ivory. By taking appropriate steps together, we ensure that we attract and contract high-caliber individuals to our organizations. 3.1 Contracting and Licensing Progress. When applying for a contract, the agent's name and code must be shown on the application. All requests for a WFG contract must include the following: a fully completed application for contract, a signed authorization and consent form, copies of all licenses held by the applicant, A copy of the applicant's EANO certificate, obtained through UFGIA. Declaration of outside business activities, OBA. Note: before an individual can solicit or sell insurance products, they must obtain a life insurance license and be granted a contract by UFGIA. The UFGIA Licensing and Contracting Department manages this process. To be offered a UFGIA contract, all applicants must meet the following standards for appointment. Fully discloses all material information including conflicts of interest and outside business activities and occupations on the application for contract. Have a favorable credit standing. Have no record of criminal activity or serious regulatory infractions. Receive a favorable rating from other companies, and meet the regulatory requirements of holding a valid license, and EANO. Insurance. Agree to abide by this guide and UFGIA policies and procedures as laid out in the UFGIA Agent Agreement. It is the responsibility of the licensed UFGIA agent recruiting a new associate to conduct an initial in-person interview, screening the candidate in regard to the above-mentioned standards. UFGIA will grant an insurance contract only to those individuals whose background and past record reflects merit upon the industry and demonstrates a strong professional and ethical background. Internal use only, UFGIA Canada Insurance Guide 38. In the event an applicant does not meet this standard, the decision not to offer a contract may be appealed. Appeals should be directed the UFGIA Licensing and Contracting Department. 3.2 Updating licensing information. It is the responsibility of every licensed individual to notify the UFGIA Licensing and Contracting Department within 5 days whenever there is a material change or immediately when the agent wishes to seek outside business activities, OBA. This includes bankruptcies, consumer proposals and garnishments. 3.3 Resigning or surrendering an agent's license. Licensed agents must provide notification to the UFGIA Licensing and Contracting Department within 5 days of resigning or surrendering their license. WFG does not allow agents to maintain a code without an active license. If you wish to surrender your insurance license and you do not hold any other license, this will be a full termination from UFGIA including your UFGIA agent code. You must submit your resignation online through mywfg.com via My Profile, Account Administration. Agents licensed in multiple provinces may choose to surrender only one or more provincial license, All such requests must be forwarded in writing to the UFGIA Licensing and Contracting Department via email. WFG Canada Operations at transamerica.com, detailing the requested license, to be surrendered. Note: UFGIA does not allow future dated resignation dates. Future dated resignations will be processed effective the date of receipt. 4.0 Sales Communications. 4.1 Sales Communications, defined. Sales communications consist of practically anything shown to the public. This includes newspaper advertisements, presentations, PowerPoint or similar programs, sales brochures, business cards, letterhead, direct mail, correspondence, newsletters, websites, Facebook, billboards, videos, etc. Even freehand drawings you might show or leave with a client on a sheet of paper may be considered to be a sales communication. In essence, it covers what you present to the client and how you hold yourself out in making the presentation. Any presentation that you produce on your own, using PowerPoint or other software program, or that is produced in some other form, must contain UFGIA's name or logo, and must be approved by UFGIA Marketing or Compliance in advance. Also, you are required under the Provincial Insurance Acts to be properly licensed at all times for each product you sell. This applies to your province of residence and to any province in which you conduct business on a non-resident basis. Severe penalties exist for operating without a license. how you hold yourself out to the public on business cards, letterhead, or any document in which you use your name and occupation is also covered under provincial regulations. It is a privacy incident of the regulations to describe yourself or the services you provide in a manner that could be construed as misleading. The public must understand what you do, what products you sell, and who you represent, to avoid misconceptions.